Hi.
Hello.
Look who it is. It's
I'm back.
Jessie. Yay. I'm so glad to have my partner back.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a little while together.
It's been a while because we've had our own personal life things going on, and so we haven't been able to get together, kind of be in the office at the same time. And look how we match. We didn't plan it, but don't we look great?
Came in today, I was like, we're both in pink.
I know. So you already know I'm Cornelia.
I'm Jessie, yeah.
And we've done a lot of, and we'll come back to Hope Speaks, we've done a lot of color code stuff, but what we haven't really done is been a little bit more transparent on our own relationships and relationships that are close to us, and some of the negotiations that we have done in our own relationships, and just we just want to be more transparent, just to give you some ideas and some examples.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, you and I are both in blue-white relationships, right?
We're both blue, yeah.
We're both blue and our partners are white, but that doesn't mean that we have the same experience, because my partner represents white differently than your partner does.
Yep.
Like Jay's a purist.
Mm-hmm.
So he's completely white and completely logic-based. Yeah.
And my husband's more white, yellow-ish. So there are differences for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the biggest things for me is I'm definitely emotional-based. And Jay
and you're
is... blue. And Jay, can you share, do you mind sharing your honey's name?
Oh yeah, Kavika,
Yeah.
my honey's name.
Yep. So Jay is definitely logical. And
so is Kavika.
so I have learned to kind of process my emotions before going to him. Not to go to him when my emotions are super, super high, because he doesn't know what to do with that, and it really makes him feel stuck. And then he goes into defense mode, and it's likely to make an argument, increase the length of the argument, the duration of the argument, and hinder us from getting on the same page.
Right.
And so when I do my processing alone, with a friend, prior to going to Jay, and then I can go with more logic and say, I'm feeling sad because...
Which I love. I'll interrupt you and say,
yes,
because
please.
A lot of us, and we hear this too in our sessions, but a lot of us will think like, I shouldn't have to do that, right? So we'll fill the space with that mentality. Like, for example, like, I shouldn't have to do this on my own. I should be able to come to you just as I am, right? And we're actually not saying that. We're just saying understanding the whole accountability thing, taking accountability for who you are. And this is you understanding you got to ride that wave a little bit and not come to Jay when you're peak emotion, because it's not effective. It doesn't help either of you. I'm just adding that tidbit in there because I think that's the healthy frame, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I just wanted to, yes, exactly. Do you have anything to share in regards to you? And
yeah. Well, so like we just said, so I'm blue and my husband is white, yellow, and for sure, same kind of idea. The processing of emotion before, so that I can speak emotion in the way he needs me to, right? So he can hear it, working together in that way. So for me, that means typically fewer words about what I'm feeling. So it's,
me too.
This is what I feel and why, right?
Fewer words,
and ask, like, and here's what I need, or here's why I'm telling you, here's what I think, and what do you think, right?
Right.
That helps him hear what I'm saying and understand more directly, like, why I'm telling him what I need from that.
Right.
If that makes sense.
100%, because I do the same thing. And I think if anyone out there is listening to that, then you may be feeling like, well, that is the blue doing all the work. But that's not the beauty in this. The beauty in this is that when I go to Jay this way, and his defense mechanisms are down, then he says, how do I meet my wife where she's at in this emotional moment? So that's his piece. He goes, I'm not emotion, but let me hear her emotional, and he's more likely to validate me then.
Yes.
Because he hears it and he understands it with his logic brain. And he has done the work to say, but she needs an emotional response first.
Right.
I'm sorry, you're sad. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that was making you feel that way. Yeah, let's do it. Whatever I have presented or whatever.
Yeah.
So he does do his piece.
I have a quick example of that.
I love that. Share it, please.
Try and make it quick because it's hard because I'm blue.
Yeah.
Making it quick. So it was, this was a while ago, my husband's birthday, Kavika's birthday, and he comes home from like working. It was a full day, busy day. He's like done. He's burned out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've all been there. And my kids and I, we had like planned some special stuff for him. So he comes in, I can tell he's like just tired. He's had the day. And we do the birthday stuff. He opens the things that we thoughtfully got him, because again, I'm blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his reaction hurt my feelings. He was so grateful, of course, right? But it wasn't what I expected, and I had the bar here, what I wanted.
Because we're blues, we have expectations.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the nutshell version. We kind of let it go. The night went on. The next day, because as a blue, I understand and know him, I kind of waited and processed like we were talking about, and came to him and said, here's how I felt last night. With fewer words, I was able to tell him, and here's kind of, again, the ask what I might need from you next time. And when you were mentioning it's not all blue, him knowing himself and understanding me was able to not have the defenses, because part of that was because I waited, right? Gave him the time, was able to hear me out and listen to understand where I was coming from.
Like what you said, listen to understand where you were coming from, right?
That was that was the thing. That was his piece in that moment. He didn't interrupt. He listened. He validated, and he validated by saying, "I can totally see that. I know you, and that you put work into it. That must have felt really hard. I'm sorry for that." And here's kind of where I was, right? So we could hold the both in. And then it was really a non-issue. It was like, okay, I feel better, you feel better. And in the past, we wouldn't have done it that way, not knowing the color code stuff. It's like I could sit in my hurt and, stay there. And he wouldn't understand it or feel defensive.
Right. So. And I think to add to what you were saying, in the past, if that were a scenario between Jay and I, without understanding the color code, I probably would have word vomited at the moment.
Yeah,
I would have been like, I cannot believe we put all this effort into this, and this is how you're going to respond. I mean, this is
all you give me.
Yeah, you can't show up better than that. Like, who do you think you are? That would have gotten us nowhere, but into a huge argument, right? And so once again,
that's a piece I have learned to press pause. Like, I feel this, it doesn't have to be now. I can ride the wave a little bit. And that's kind of what you're saying there.
Exactly. So we might only get to one of these, unfortunately, but because I do want to give another example. I recently have been in a situation where I have had to do some things for my dad, and I've had to do some things for my husband's dad. And I was feeling extremely overwhelmed. And I mean, I was at a 10. And I wanted to just have a complete emotional breakdown. I'm going to be honest. I just felt so overwhelmed with work and the two big asks for my dad and for his dad. And Jay was unable to do either one of them because of work. Yeah. And I felt so alone in those moments, and like everything was on my shoulders, and he was not there for me, and blah, 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 blah. Realistically, he's done a lot of things. Yeah. A lot of big asks for my dad and a lot of big asks for his dad, but I couldn't see that. I was so angry and so blinded. And I was aware of that. And I had to press pause because I wanted to talk to him about it, because I wanted to share my emotions. I didn't want him to do anything different because he couldn't. Right. But I needed to share how I was feeling. And so I pressed pause, thought it through so that I could express myself to him in a way that he could understand. And I told him, I understand I'm feeling really overwhelmed in this moment. I want to share some things with you. But first, I want to tell you, I know that you have really showed up for me and my dad in the past. And I know some of what I'm feeling right now is a little irrational, but I'm feeling it.
But you needed it to be heard.
I wanted him to hear it, but I'm feeling it. Because I'm feeling extremely overwhelmed, and like everything is falling on my shoulders for your dad and my dad, even though I'm well aware that you have done multiple things for both of our dads. Over the years, right? And he was filled with so much compassion for me in that moment. Yeah. Because I expressed it that way. And said, wow, I totally could get why you would feel that way. These two things are happening like close to one another. And he said, I really appreciate you for putting it out there that you do see what I was doing. And then he just said what I needed to hear. I got you, babe. Yeah. And I'm going to be there.
Isn't that beautiful? It just worked out in this working together in that way, understanding each other. Yeah. And it's easy for blue, right, to be very absolute in our thinking sometimes, which is not both and, by the way. That's not both and. When we're absolute, like, forget the things that Jay's been doing, or you always, or you never. We, can use those words. Yeah. but like you said, he heard you more clearly. He got the point and the message with empathy and validation, even because you were able to go, I know some of this is irrational, and I know you have been stepping up, and I still feel this way right now.
Yep, I was just saying, it's here. It's not going away. This is how I feel.
Right.
And I know, right?
But
I love that.
Unhealthy Blue would have been more like, I am doing it all, and you never help me, those kinds of statements.
Or just complained about the whole thing. I can't believe I have to do this, and I got to get up this early, and I got to do this, and I got to do that, and just go into complete, utter meltdown, complain mode. That's what I would have done, honestly, in the past. Just went into complaining mode and made him feel bad that he couldn't do it and wasn't helping me, and look what this is doing to me, and how could you do this to me, and blah, 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 blah. And him just saying, I get it. Like, he goes, you feel overwhelmed, but I want you to know I got you and I'm in this with you. And
so that became a moment of connection, right? Like, we both get that because we are living it. We're doing it. We're doing this stuff. We don't just preach it, right? That's a moment of connection instead of like discord or fighting, or disconnect. You got to connect there on, I see you, I get it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's really important to let our blues out there know that it is important to process before speaking to the people that we love, so that we can give them an opportunity to meet us. It's not all of our work. And I think we had these grandiose ideas that you and I were going to give examples about all these color codes, and we ended up doing blue and white, and we're already over time.
We'll come back
because we have examples of other relationships. Even though we are blue and white, we have friends and we have family members that are different, and we want to give some usable, tangible information to all of you out there. So we appreciate you for watching this episode. Yeah. We're going to sign out.
Bye.
All right, bye.